Good evening, everybody. Okay, as we saw today, after the hammer signal on Friday, bullish confirmation today. However, two things that are still not in cahoots, I guess. One, stochastics are still in a downtrend, and two, we're still just below the T-line. So that was the Dow. The NASDAQ looked like it was an up day, and off the 50. Notice it's not any type of signal. So that's kind of gives us the impression that we're in a bounce, but not necessarily a reversal just yet. The transportation index still heading, stochastics heading down. Bullish Harami. So wouldn't be too unusual to see him bouncing back up tomorrow, hit the T-line, and then start fading from there. So over in the commodity futures side, here was an easy trade in the crude oil today for a day trade. What do we know about a doji? It's going to move in the direction of how they open after a doji. So when it was trading lower during the day, if you just flip to your 10-minute chart, I think I hit it over here when it started rolling over. So put on a contract or two, it picked up $800, $1,000 real quick and started covering it right here. So just learned that if you hit a downtrend, the first buy signals you see, you can start taking profits, because that means you usually got most of that move. That was on crude oil. And so the logic was, if it opened lower, started trading down, where do you think the target was? The T-line. And that's exactly what you would expect after that doji and the overbought condition. And gold, as you can see, kind of consolidated today, but didn't reverse. It's kind of, wouldn't be surprised to see a double doji type day, which means two dojis, and then the third day they take it right back up again. And we also recommended going long on the euro because the dollar was getting weaker. And our buy stop was somewhere right in, I wrote it down, and we're in it because it stopped. Let's see, at 135, 155, 35. I think we did that because it was in an uptrend, and when it came back up through this level, that told us we were now, that was coming from in here where we can see it slowly creeping up, that if it came up through this level, that would have told us our daily chart was not going to be indecisive, it was going to be more decisive. So right now we're long the euro, which meant the dollar is backing off. We can see where it broke this little trend right here with our doji bearish confirmation. So right now, if you're short the dollar, you stay short. Still watching for tomorrow, buying cattle, live cattle. You can see the bullish Harami telling us the selling had stopped, popped up to the T-line, pulled back right to the same level again, and then we had our inverted hammer, bullish confirmation, morning star signal. If they start trading this positive tomorrow, you want to be buying, with the expectation that if they break this downtrending channel, we're probably heading back up toward the 50-day moving average. Okay, I'm trying to think of what else we have. We did gold. We did, let's see, the bonds. Bonds aren't doing anything of any major consequence. Kind of in the sideways mode. And I don't think the grains were doing anything to speak of. Oh, I guess that soybeans still in this nice J-hook pattern. I have to take a look at soybeans tomorrow. Okay, we're going to kind of concentrate. We're getting a lot of questions on the belt hold signal. And the belt hold signal is a very significant candlestick pattern or signal. This is not quite a belt hold, but it still represents kind of the same thing. But there was a lot of selling and then a lot of buying, taking out all those sellers. And then followed today with bullish confirmation. So if you look at a belt hold, let's see, this is still kind of sloppy, but a belt hold type situation down here on SRPT. When they open it lower and start taking it up, now you can start seeing that, and this is where we have the advantage of the graphics, the candlesticks. My neighbor has 350 live cattle. That's all you seem to get into my fields. The Old West, Jamie, is, yes, I've got BSFT on here also. Just rope them, put your brand on them. Yeah, get free fertilizer. So what happens on a belt hold, this was more significant on the other charts, is that you've wiped out a lot of sellers. When you wipe out those sellers, any buying, yeah, you can still have the shadow. It's still the significance, Steve, of opening much lower and trading higher. Now, Angie's list is more pronounced, where it opened and immediately started coming back up. So, again, they wiped out a lot of sellers out here, and now there's no sellers in front of you. That's why Angie's list is still a good chart. And BSFT had a nice belt hold today. Notice yesterday they did a big hammer type signal. Then they gapped it down again and brought it right back up again. So that pretty much tells you what's happening. Every time they tried to sell it off big, the buyers stepped right back in again. Now you don't have as many sellers in the way. This one's going to be a high probability that it's going to move higher because there's no sellers, especially if they break through this level right here. Let's see what else we have in here for belt holds. So the reason we're kind of illustrating belt holds is because it's a high probability trade setup. Flex had more of a belt hold type signal, and this is kind of the difference between some charting services. Some charting services have the open down here and head up. Some have it whipsawed. So anyways, whenever you have these big reversals and then bullish confirmation, again, you've taken out a lot of the sellers. No, the signals are the results of those earnings reports. So remember, we're not looking for stuff that are moving around because of something. We're looking at what happens because of that something. So remember, there's a lot of times where somebody will announce fantastic earnings and the stock will go down. Another company will announce terrible earnings and the stock will go up. It's all based on what the investor perception is, whether which way it's going to move. And so how often, I say this rhetorically, how often because I've done it so many times myself, own a stock and they came out with great earnings. I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to get rich. And the next day they open it and take it straight down. You're thinking, what the heck? So remember, it's not what you think is going to happen. It's what's actually happening that's built into the candlesticks. There's kind of a little belt hold right here. This one was a belt hold piercing type signal. So a belt hold can be anything that gaps way down below the current trading. Back over here was more of a belt hold. There's your hammer. There's your gap way down, belt hold. Right now this is a long-legged doji, depending on where it opened. And this is why some of these charts, yeah, you see how this one is showing a belt hold signal? That over here, it's showing it as a hammer. So that's why it's always good to have a couple of chart systems. So that is a nice belt hold. In either case, whether it's a long-legged doji or a belt hold, if you understand that it was a belt hold on the other charts, what do we look for? Whether it's a long-legged doji or a belt hold, if it opens positive, you want to be buying this one. So when we can identify, they've taken out some sellers. In this case, this was an extravagant belt hold. But remember, a piercing signal is going to be somewhat of a belt hold. It's going to gap below any of the previous day's trading and come back up. And the deeper they gap it down and bring it back up, the more significant the reversal is going to be. Whether it's a bullish belt hold, I don't know what happened there, how it typed off into space, or a bearish belt hold. Whenever you see this happen, get ready to go short, because that tells you the sellers have definitely taken control, gapped it up out of the range and brought it right back into the range. Notice it's not any type of signal. It's not a bearish engulfing. It's not a bearish piercing. It's gapped up and then comes back into the range. That was Rovi, Pandora. Same scenario. You see this happening, they better open it and start trading positive the next day. If they open it and start trading lower, close out the position and or start going short. Told you exactly what's going on in investor sentiment. Whoops. I think I might have mixed up my columns here. I did. Okay. That's not what I want. No. Okay. I mixed up the columns. Make a little arrow here. All right. So anyways, the belt hold, let's go back to a belt hold. You just realize what the common sense is that builds one of these signals is they open it much lower, lots of selling, and then all that selling was sopped up and there's no more sellers in the way. Yes, there should be scanned somewhere for the belt holds. Yeah, even if it had a shadow, Steve, doesn't matter. The fact that they gapped it way down and then brought it back up told you they took out a lot of the selling. Okay, take a look at the future. Oh, we don't normally do this, but we've had a lot of new people come in. See if I can do this. We don't usually run specials on Monday nights, but because we've got a lot of new people and getting a lot of questions, Abe has put out a special. Whoops, that might be just the underlying part. And his special is we've got a successful commodity trading video, which is usually $249. It is on special tonight for $124. But wait, there's more. We're also going to throw in a high profit candlestick pattern book, which is usually on our site another $50 or $60. And so that whole package, you can download the Successful Commodity Trading book, and then you'll also receive a high profit candlesticks pattern book, the hard copy, and that'll be shipped to you. Shipping is free, no shipping expense. So for $124, you're going to get the video training on trading commodities successfully with candlesticks. The link is not working. It may have to end. Let me try this again. Oh, pshaw. May have attached too much. This is why I hate doing these things during a take me a second. How's that? About the try that. Anyways, as I said, we usually do this, but we wanted to do a special one. Yes, Successful Commodity Trading is the download, and then you'll get a high profit candlestick pattern book in the mail. Okay. So much for that successful endeavor of. All right, so here's some of the charts that look good. This is the reason why you want to go after some of these. And for the new folks that are in here tonight, you're going to see some of these over and over again. So so you understand when it's time to buy. This is what we call the bobble pattern in OZM. If they trade this back up above this level, you want to be buying immediately, because the bobble is when they come up, they hit a resistance level, then you can see how the lack of enthusiasm on the pullback. Support's right on the T line. If they bring it back up through the 50, it's called a bobble, where it's come up and bobbled for a while. And then when it comes out through here, what type of pattern is it developing? It's doing a J-hook pattern. So these are the type you want to get ready to buy. There's the J-hook pattern that occurred, or the bobble that occurred in TEGP. Came up, hit your resistance level. Notice what happened over here. Here's your Morningstar signal right off the T line up through the 200. Positive trading today, you want to be buying it. Tells you there's going to be more upside. And, we usually try to do the biggies. Amazon. Notice what type of signal Amazon is doing. Kind of that bullish flutter kicker signal, which means we're probably in a 45 degree. And another one that looks just like it, there's Newell Brands. There's your bullish flutter kicker. Now, a bullish flutter kicker is where you have a down day, the next day they gap it up above the previous day's open. If it immediately starts going the opposite direction, you've got a kicker signal in progress. But notice they did an indecisive day, and then what do we know about a doji? The price will usually move in the direction of how they open it after a doji. So when it opened positive, you could be buying it immediately, knowing that it's going to move positive after a doji. But if you took out this doji, you essentially have a very strong kicker signal. So the benefit of a kicker signal versus a flutter kicker signal is a kicker signal will usually gap up and start immediately trading positive. You got to scramble to get in quick. On a flutter kicker, at least it's giving you time to say, oh, if this opens positive the next day, I want to get ready to be buying this, so you're more prepared for it. So that's a good looking chart. This is your best friend coming out of a scoop pattern. Notice the flat handle. Notice they pulled right back here to the T line or to the 50. Now you have a gap up from a doji. I would expect at least a 45 degree, but it will be a positive trading from here. Let's see, what was TA? TA is that bobble pattern. You get ready to buy this if it comes up through the 50 tomorrow. Same as TEGP did today. And this is your scoop pattern, COM. Notice how you had this big flat trading. There's your scoop. If this opens positive tomorrow, you want to be buying immediately because you're going to get that slingshot effect to the upside. SXCP. Another slow curve breakout. Here's kind of your double doji. Notice how when they brought it up, they did a doji, and then started taking up positive. That just told you that was consolidation. And it was consolidation where it wasn't, they weren't selling it. They were just kind of pulling it back a little bit and then start moving it back up. U.S. Steel has a good chart. Kind of a J-hook pattern, kind of trend kicker signal, inverted hammer. You can be buying this one on positive trading because there's wave 1, wave 2, going into wave 3. ACCO. Here's your message. Notice what they didn't do. They couldn't take it back below the T line. This one you definitely want to be buying because you got this rounding bottom, then a breakout. Can you explain the J-hook and the blue ice pattern? The J-hook, yeah, I'll find a J-hook in here. I haven't seen any blue ice recently. That is not good. Something's wrong there. This one's not. Oh, maybe I need to do it like this. No, that one's just not coming up. I don't know what's happening there. The golds were holding up well. You still want to hang on to these as long as they stay in this uptrend. That's AU, SA. SA, we're ready to buy this. We're out of this one, but we'll be buying this if it comes back up through the $15 level, telling you that it's broken out into a new wave. And AGI, you stay long on this. At this point, I would use this open as a stop. It shouldn't come back down through that level. If it does, it means they're coming back to test the T line. So again, that's kind of where you try to pick a point to tell you where do you set your stops. Now Harmony, same scenario. Did kind of a bearish engulfing, but we're not anywhere near the overbought condition. You get ready to buy this on any positive trading tomorrow. That tells you that all they did was pull back to the 50. FIVN, there's that slow curve breaking out. You're right here at the breakout level. You can still be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. What's the difference between a cradle and a J-hook? A cradle, I'll have to find a cradle. A cradle, again, these are all in the High Profit Candlestick Patterns book. A cradle is better for me to find one than it is to try to describe it. A J hook usually occurs as you're in an uptrend, then it pulls back, and then does a J hook again back to the upside. I'll find a cradle somewhere. This is Zillow. Big left-right combo right here at the 200 and the T-line. Another one that can be bought on Positive Trading tomorrow. And Zillow Group looked a little bit better. Notice they couldn't get back below the T-line. So we're right here at this breakout level. That's not what to do. Humbug. This is a J-hook pattern. Strong up move. They've pulled it back into size. Now they're doing a hook to the upside. Now, what this does for us is if we know there's a high probability wave 3, same as wave 1, and we're right here at this breakout level, that's more compelling evidence that if they open this positive, this level is not going to act as resistance anymore, and that we're now into wave 3. And HLTH, this is what we call the classic. There's your fry pan bottom, strong price move. There's your J hook. But notice what's happened in this one. It traded flat. And notice how decisive it was. Very indecisive trading. Now you're starting back up. This one you can definitely be buying on Positive Trading tomorrow. Because it told you exactly what was happening once they got back here to the T-line. They couldn't sell it off, so now they're starting to buy it. SONS, this is your 45 degree. Kind of your best friend gap up. Now you can anticipate this will be in a 45 degree move from here. Oh boy. Anybody having problems getting the specials, we'll hand it right back to Abraham at email Abraham. He'll get you fixed up. I'm zipping right along here. We did those. Pega, there's that slow curve. Kind of a trend kicker. You could be buying this one. Broken out through, basically through this level. And MITK, or MITK, this is one where you can see all the evidence of strength coming into this one on the basis that it's supported here with a piercing signal off the 50. Use the 50 as support. Then had kind of a trend kicker breakout through this level, and then a doji sandwich. We know what should follow a trend kicker, more upside. We know what should follow a doji sandwich, more upside. Still makes this something that you hold on to. Let's see. AVD had a cradle pattern. This would be the semblance of one, but it usually has more flat trading. Oh, I forgot to do the biggies. Apple, notice where you are. On the oversold area, doji, hammer. If you're short, very simple. If they open positive tomorrow, take your profits on the short. At least they're probably going to come back up and test the 50. There was the Morningstar signal, same scenario. You had a hammer signal in Netflix. They started trading it positive, close out the position. You're in the oversold area with a hammer confirming. Where do you think your next target was going to be? Right up here to the T line. Oh, Sue, I don't know what I can't remember what we did prior to that one. whoops, AXON. There's your J-hook pattern. Again, when they pull it back, it's indecisive right here to the T-line. This one can be bought, especially if they come up through the 200. One of your highest probability signals is the inverted hammer. Anytime you see that inverted hammer and they trade positive, you can be buying because the probabilities are extremely strong. You're going to be in an uptrend. So if you take a look at that by itself, that's a strong signal. When you add the analysis that this is the area that they were buying before, that just adds further credence to the bullish move. Wynn Resorts has kind of the same scenario going on right now. Notice the inverted hammer doji. There's an inverted hammer gap up. So you've got an inverted hammer. You got your best friend doji gap up. I would suspect this was a support level, and this is your next target level up here. And there's your trend kicker signal. Notice how it opened here, closed here. That was your potential bearish belt hold. But the fact that they gapped it up here and went this direction, that shows a lot of strength. Slow curve, big breakout. I expect at least a 45 to come off of here. Is that a scoop? Not really. Usually a scoop, you can see a very defined flat handle. You could call it a scoop if you wanted to, but the significance is what's going on right here. Telling you the bulls have stepped in. Cypress, there's your fry pan bottom. There's your big shooting star, and then notice what they did the next day. Then right down to the T-line and brought it back up. Told you again, this is why we use a very simple rule on a fry pan bottom. You stay long until you see it close below the T-line. BDSI. On your T-line crunch, stay long on this now as long as it stays above the T-line. Oh, and here's one. This is why you use the visual. Once we got up here at the 200-day moving average, if you didn't sell it here, what did it need to do? It needed to open positive and go through the 200. If it had opened and came down here, pretty much told us the 200 was going to act as resistance. Now you have the potential of a bobble, meaning it could wallow in here waiting for the T-line to catch up or even back off to the T-line. So that's where you would have taken your profits. Now, if I saw this, if I own this, and the next day open started trading down, told me they weren't taking it up, I'd take my profits, but then I'd just put my stop right back up here. Because if it came down and then came back up through there, that just told me there was some profit taking and then buying coming back in. Is the signal strong enough to buy if it opens? That's up to each individual. If I saw it open positive, I would probably be buying it because your J-hook pattern starting with your best friend signal. So if you buy it, you just then watch diligently at the see what it does once it gets to the 200-day moving average. Okay, on the short side, and this market is kind of conducive to being both long and short, here's kind of an example of anytime you start seeing them close below the T-line, be out of long positions, be ready to go short, because that's the expectation that you can get once they break the T-line. So here's RRTS. Notice what it did today. That bearish doji sandwich. You're right here at this level. If this opens lower, you can be shorting it because you've got kind of a, I don't know if this is head and shoulders, but this right here is that slow rounding curve. And Shake Shack. Same scenario. Low rounding curve. I would suspect they're coming back at least to test this level, which is only about 10% away, but we don't know whether it breaks this level, whether we still have a whole lot more downside. But the fact that they just started rolling this over gives the indication that the sellers obviously are just now starting to take control. XON, something's drastically wrong here. Oh, that was back to the piercing signal. I keep getting so mixed up. GPS, another one that's just showing you that they came down, went sideways, and failed at the T-line. So what's that tell us? Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 of your bearish J-hook pattern. And Bidu had kicker type signal, then failed. This tells you they are trying to get out of this one in a hurry. This one you can be shorting on weakness tomorrow. There's that big kicker signal to the downside. Tuesday morning, well, this even showed on the other chart, even opened more positive. There was your belt hold. They gapped it right back up, took it right back down. There's strong selling going on. First target, second target on the way down. And Ruckus. Gap down. I have a doji hammer or hanging man. Gap down. Here's your next targets. So anytime you see that gap down, notice what you have up here right now. This island reversal. They could take this down pretty hard. Good 25, 30% to the downside. Whoops, had some more here. That's where they went. DDD, same scenario. You can be shorting this one. ENTA, bearish doji sandwich, another one that you can be shorting. If it breaks this level, they're coming all the way back down to this level. And ARW is a good example of once they close below the T line, you want to be out of them, especially with your, when you can see there's a resistance level. Let's get rid of that. This is what your probabilities are telling you. They're starting to head in that direction. That's why we were short their lines. Alaska Air, Ha, bounced up a little bit, but still needs to see bullish confirmation. So now if this opens positive and trades positive, we'll cover it, see if they bounce it back up to the T line, but still be ready to go short again. And PRLB, another one, very nice short. It traded positive today, but nothing yet to tell us there's a reversal. Remember, this is a strong kicker signal telling you they want to get out of this thing in a hurry. And CSH, now I would use today's high as a stop. If they open a positive, trade positive, they're going to bounce it. If they open it lower, you can still short this because that tells you the 50 is not acting as support. I mean, this is a long-legged doji shooting star signal telling you there's a dramatic reversal. Okay, and one more Build-A-Bear, bearish engulfing up here in the overbought area, right at the 50 where it topped out before. Get ready to go short on this one. Okay, so with that, is there any general questions on candlesticks today? May have brushed through too quickly. To qualify of a Jody, how small does the body have to be? It doesn't really matter. As long as you can see that there's indecision. If it has a little bit of a body, it means it's a spinning top. But anytime I see where the most of the trading range and the body is relatively small, I put that into a doji category. Oh, the message is usually, trying to think of which one had a message. This is what you call a message, where they gap it up and they start selling it off. Well, that dark candle, everybody says, oh, it doesn't look good, except the message was they gapped this thing up. So all you're getting is profit taking. So all you do is wait for the profit taking to end, and then you start buying. AU was out a dark cloud today. Just barely, but so that's why you want to see how this opens tomorrow. If they open it lower, that means they're probably bringing it back to test the T-line. You want to see it open flat and trade higher. I don't know what gold is doing right now, but it will be influenced. Goes, I can't tell whether that's the right spot or not. Well, Shazam, the Cubs are just whipping the Pirates tonight. Take this 10-minute chart. And it looks like they're just kind of trading sideways on the 10-minute chart. But the Penguins are in. Okay. Oh, yes. Harris, I'll try to, except we're scheduled up for tomorrow night, Thursday night, or Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. So it'll probably be, I'll put tentatively exit and entry on Tuesday next week. Okay. Not a candle question, but how close to expiration will you hold an option that is going in your direction? Paul, that still becomes a function of, I'll hold it right up to expiration if it's going in the right direction. But if I see something that's kind of getting iffy, I'm trying to think of something. This is the 10-minute. Let's say, for example, we had something like this, and expiration was at the end of this week. Well, I might take profits now and then see about rolling it over into the next should say, yeah. Roll it over into the next expiration. Do you think less of a long-legged doji than a short? No, a doji is a doji. Now, a long-legged doji usually represents a big indecisive trading day. So that's usually going to get more attention. All right, let me see if once you see a signal on the daily chart, do you normally go to the 10-minute chart to enter? Oh, not so much. DS, if I see something, I'm trying to, for example, tomorrow, if this opens positive because of the Morningstar signal, yes, I'll start looking to be a buyer of live cattle. But before I buy it, I'll check to see what the 10-minute chart is doing. So I don't want to see that it opened positive and then they're starting to slowly fade it. I'll wait just for my 10-minute chart to start turning back up. When we trade during the day, do we look at I usually look at I use the 10-minute chart as my bellwether. Now, depending on how active you trade, if you're trading the dollar and you're not trading very fast, you might use a 15-minute and an hourly chart combination. If you're trading the E-minis, I used to trade the E-minis off the 1-minute, 3-minute, 10-minute chart combination. So all depends on how active you're trading. Which is more powerful, a bullish candle engulfing or bullish engulfing doji? If you have a doji followed the next day by, I don't see one, by a bullish engulfing, that's called a left-right combo. That's a very strong reversal. So somewhere on the our members area, there's a video showing the quantitative signals and patterns, which are the strongest, which usually starts off with the best friend, the doji gap up. I think I've got the second one is the left-right combo with a doji followed by a bullish engulfing. Okay, with that, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And in 4.6 seconds, do the second double line. All right, we'll start up here with Tesla. Tesla, you stay short on this. You can even short this on weakness tomorrow. Nugget, whoops. Nugget, we're staying long, but if it opens lower tomorrow, I want to close it out. There's a good possibility they could be bringing it back down to test the T line. But depending on how gold opens in the morning, which is usually an indication of how Nugget is going to open, if gold stays strong, then usually you'll see Nugget open positive. So that's a good clue or a good precursor is see what Nugget is or what the gold is trading at in the morning. TAL, there was that belt hold. This is a left-right combo, bullish engulfing. Doji followed by a bullish engulfing, left-right combo. So you stay long on this one. And QLIC, you can be buying this one. It opened lower, but there's another left-right combo. So you want to be buying this one, especially if they open this positive, telling you the 200 is not acting as resistance, especially after this fry pan bottom and then a left-right combo. CNX, you stay long as it stays above the T line. Same scenario on Fitbit. Just stay long on this one as long as it stays up above the T line. And SPIL, you stay short. Now, if they open this positive tomorrow, you can cover your short position. But if it opened positive, I'd just have myself stop for reshorting it if it came back down through the halfway point of this candle. The buckle, another one you can go short, especially if it opens lower tomorrow. You'll have that bearish doji sandwich, which means that candle would probably take you right down to test this area right away. Oops, didn't scroll fast enough. And BRCD, whoops, ERCD. Yes, there's a failure at the Berry Sharami shooting star right here at the 50, confirmed. Yes, you can stay short on this one. If you're short, you stay short. I would just use today's high as a stop. If it came back up through there, that meant some buying is coming in. There's your kind of belt hold, dark cloud, a significant one. So same scenario as AU. You want to see these open positive, but even if it opened positive, I'd put a sell stop at today's open or today's low, because if it opened positive and started selling off, that means they're still selling it after the sell signal. They're coming back at least to test the T-line. And I say at least to test the T-line. It's probably to test the T-line. You don't know if it's going to stay there or not. E, X, K, there's that left-right, bounced off the T-line. This one has to open positive and stay positive tomorrow. TXRH, Morningstar signal. I'd be a buyer of this one on positive trading, especially if it came up through the 50. Freeport, stay long, same area. I wouldn't want to see this one trade back down below today's low. Johnson & Johnson, you can stay long on this one. As you can see, it's not a very exciting trader, but you've got the little scoop type pattern. You're back up above the T-line. You can stay long, but if it closes back below the T-line, I'd close it out. AM or ADM did exactly what you wanted to do after it got through the 200, came back, used the 200 as support. I'd still be a buyer of this one on positive trading. Apple, still a short candidate or a counter trend. Again, if this opens positive tomorrow, you close out the position. You're in the oversold area and you've got a doji and you got a hammer signal. That's telling you that there's buying starting here. So if it opened positive, close out your short position. MCK. Another one that is going to move in the direction of how they open it tomorrow. So if it opens lower, they're taking it down to the 200. ONB. Bearish engulfing, right smack dab at the 200. You can get ready to short this one on weakness tomorrow. Apollo, be ready to buy this one. You've got that little fry pan bottom breakout. If it opens lower, you don't buy it. But if it comes back up through today's high, that's when you start buying. If it opens positive tomorrow, you can start buying it and then just use today's low as your stop. So that would be the likely place where the sellers were back in control. Boise Cascade, nice little chart. Not a very prolific mover, but good looking chart. Still an uptrend going to the 200. Mankind, nothing here yet. I wouldn't be long or short. You're kind of stuck in that sideways wedge. Silver Wheaton, another piercing signal. It has to open positive and trade positive tomorrow. If it opens lower, take your profits. And AEM, use today's low as your stop. If it comes back down through there, they're still selling it off after today's indecisive trading. Silver backed off a little bit. Expect it to come back to the T-line, but as long as it stays above the T-line, you can stay long. So it depends on how fast you want to trade it. WFC. This one is a perfect example that if you held it yesterday or on Friday, it had to open positive and trade positive, which it's doing. So your next target right now is back up to the 200-day moving average. think we did KERX. No, we did, yeah. This one you stay long. You had kind of the big spinning top, bullish engulfing. Stay long on this one. Texas Instruments. Nothing here yet. If you're short, you stay short. Didn't really have a reversal signal today, but as long as it stays below the T line right now, you can stay short. Whiting backed off a little bit today. You should have closed this out. If you didn't, be ready to buy this one, or be ready to close this one on a lower open. It needs to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. XLP, stay long. Yep. I'd be a buyer on positive trading. Tell me it's broken this downtrending channel. XLE. Yeah, but this one has to open positive tomorrow to stay in it. If it opens lower, moving in the wrong direction, obviously. We did Amazon. Amazon right now should be in a 45 degree. It's kind of done this bullish flutter kicker. This one, if you're short, same scenario. If it comes back up above today's high, you want to close it out. Right, at least going to bounce back up, test the T line. Ross Stores. Yeah, it wouldn't be long or short. I'd be more apt to go after this once it broke this downtrending channel, but you can see you're in a kind of a sideways wedge. I'd be someplace else. NSA, this one I'd be apt to buy in positive trade after the inverted hammer right off the 50. If it can break this downtrending channel, should have another wave to the upside like this one. Is that LPNT. Stay short on this one. Big shooting star, gap down. This is just up day and a downtrend. But you definitely want to see this open lower tomorrow. And remember, when they gap these things down, that means there's more force to the downside. MK, if that's EXK, another one that has to open positive to stay in it. QCOM, if this one opens positive and you were short, I'd close it out. You can see that you're at the support level. AME, I'd stay short. If it does open positive, close out your short position, but then be ready to short it if it comes back down through today's open. Monster, look for a 45 degree. There's your gap up. Expect a 45 degree off of here. T2 was a good chart today. Morningstar signal. You can buy this one on positive trading. Just be conscious of the 50-day moving average. Big belt hold on BFST. I'd be a buyer of this one on positive trading tomorrow. MD. Yes, get ready to go short. This is failing at the 200. Look for it to come back to the 50. Goodyear, stay short. A big gap down, especially through the 50 and the support areas. Stay short until you see the buy signal. XIV. This one you can be buying if it comes back up through the 200-day moving average. CAVM still in a downtrend. This was a nothing day. Didn't close more than halfway up this candle. This is what they call an in neck, just as a continuation pattern. If it opens lower, you can definitely want to still be shorting this one. SRPT had kind of funky buying down here, but right now I'd stay long if you are long. You can see every time they open it, they took it up. Open it much lower, took it right back up. So you can see there's lots of buying going on down here. Let's see, we did CHS, we did LPNT, Alta. Stay long as it stays above the T line. Visa, if you're short, you should have covered it today on the positive open. If you're looking to go long, it needs to get back up above the T line. Till then, I wouldn't do anything with it. Brocade, you can stay short on this one. You can short it if it comes back even down through today's low. Oh, blue ice failure. Yeah, except there's no target down here. Usually a blue ice failure, it is a blue ice failure. Probably your next target is the recent low. Why do you not think gold is overextended? Oops. Did you already cover the major indices I got in? Yes. The Dow popped back up, but still didn't get above the T line yet. So you have to see how they open it tomorrow. It's not telling you there's been a reversal yet until it's confirmed. Facebook, stay long. That's the message. Gap up, sell off. Now the profit taking's over. You should be in a nice steady 45-degree off of here. GNW, this is where you've got obvious support or resistance level at the 200. So if it opens positive, you stay long, but you immediately put your stop back here at the 200, because if it opens positive and comes back down there, that's telling you they're not resisting, or they're resisting at the 200. But this is where, once you get to that level, that's where you flip to your 10-minute chart. And today the 10-minute chart didn't tell us it was backing off at all. So if it had done this and started rolling over, yeah, I may have taken profits at that point, telling me they were selling at the 200. Joe, it's hard to, yeah, it's recorded. Okay. You're welcome, Vladimir. I hope things are going well with you. Nugget, backing and filling. If it trades back below today's low, it means they're coming back to test the T line. So again, that'll be a function when you get up in the morning to see what gold is doing. Gold is still trading positive. If gold does a bullish doji sandwich today, Nugget is going to come right back up to the top of the range. And that means all the golds will start popping right back up. So it'll be important to see how gold opens tomorrow. Okay, with that, everybody have a good evening. A cradle on ZTS. Yeah, usually a cradle, I kind of anticipate more of flat, but that would be considered a cradle pattern, yes. So that's a good looking chart because it's now doing a J-hook pattern. That is a good looking chart. Okay, everybody. We'll see you bright and early in the chat room tomorrow. We'll see you then.